anybody who's into like fly fishing, like if you fly fish for trout, you'll be able to catch fish in those types of areas,
Right.
Because you understand how current works and how fish hold in current. That's the biggest thing with that kind of stuff.
Blue moons.
It's just being able to identify.
One of these?
Yeah, I'll try one.
Just being able to identify where fish hold in currents.
Ooh, thanks, my
Right.
dog. Country Ride Pale Ale
Cambridge.
from Cambridge. That's what we are about to sip on.
Yeah,
Believe
not
it
me.
or not, it has nothing to do with beer. I just can't talk in general.
Thank you.
I don't know why the cans even feel different. Like they're the same cans, but like even just like opening it.
They're nice.
I don't know, man. It's hard to beat a nice cold Labatt.
Absolutely not.
Doggy.
That's my puppy.
How's she doing?
puppy dog.
She's slightly less asshole than your dog, than your little one.
Well, that's because she's a puppy. She's in the Velociraptor stage.
It's incredibly hard to beat the assholeness of my dog.
Actually, she's way down from him, but
He's such a dick.
she does.
I love him though.
Oh, those labs.
We need to get our dogs together for a play date.
She was like
Your house
4
isn't big
months
enough
in
for my
space.
dogs. If there's going to be multiple dogs here,
Your dogs could swallow my dog whole.
What kind of dog do you have?
I have 2 mastiffs.
Oh, nice. I like mastiffs.
Yeah, one of them is like
Big
fucked
ass
up though.
mastiffs.
My one Archie,
Can you
he's
pull
got to
the,
get his eyes removed because he's blind and he's
pull the
got
comments back
issues.
up.
It sucks.
The puppy?
Yeah, the little guy.
See that fish?
Uh huh.
That was the one I would call it. In the same area. Look how dark.
Yep.
So we have Wes agrees with me. Thank you, Wes.
So Miles, do you want to give us a tournament recap without telling us the spots? From,
Like Wes says he'd rather flip on the high tide.
Little John says, "What's the
I agree
weight
with that.
of the Low Ranch Ghost?"
I'm not sure. I haven't looked it up.
I'm a Low Ranch fan, but I haven't heard great things about the Low Ranch Ghost.
I've heard it sucks ass in the grass.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
I've just heard they break.
I haven't heard too much about him breaking. My buddy Mike had one on his. He had a tracker before
What's
he got
up,
his
Mr.
Phoenix.
Snails?
And I mean, I used it. We fished that Bass Pro Shops tournament on the Potomac, and I used it down there, and it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't bad. It just sucked in the grass. Like just using it, it felt nice. Like the pedal feels nice, and I mean, it was nice to use. But as soon as you got into like thick grass, it just knocked it out like that.
Hit that like and share button for us, guys. Would really appreciate it. Help get the podcast out to some different people, the live stream,
Right.
whatever you want to call it.
So you guys have all heard my tournament recap.
Yo, Martin, what you doing down in Lake Anna?
What it do, Martin?
Martin, good
Mar-
job last tournament. Congratulations on 3rd place in the
dude,
club, man.
I wish
Well
we had,
earned.
I wish we had that fast call-in feature. Would love to have Martin call in right
Martin, are you on the cold side or the hot side?
Cold side.
Cold side?
Yeah.
Bunch of guys go down there.
Yeah, a bunch of guys from the club. I would have went, but I got drilled this weekend.
It's a good time of the year to catch a big one down there.
Yep. So Miles, go ahead and give us your version of our recap. Spare all the details except the last 25 minutes, because I'm putting you on the spot.
Give the details? Or?
I don't think he wants you to give the details.
Don't give the
I
spot, but just
I mean,
walk us through what happened in the last hour.
now. Yeah, tell us everything.
Don't tell us everything.
He's
every
like, what is
detail. I want to
happening
know.
right now?
I
What
want
I
to
can and
play by
can't
play
say.
of every single cast you made that.
What
day.
I
Start
can
with
and can't say.
we had X amount of weight and found a spot. Go.
So we had 8 pounds by, what, 2 o'clock?
Oh, we had that limit way before that.
You're right.
Probably like
we,
10
we
o'clock.
we were sitting on 8 pounds for 4 hours, 5 hours. And, I mean, we were just running random stuff at that point. Just moseying around out in the open, not catch anything. And we made the decision to run up north.
to another spot.
to a spot in the
Just to
water.
another spot.
There's some water
we
there.
ran to another spot.
And it's a spot that I caught a decent fish on the week before. Spot lock, fish. Tony throws in like 3.5 pounder
right away.
right away.
doing some stupid shit.
I throw in nothing. He throws back in 3-pounder.
So now we got one rat left. We got 4 decent fish.
Right.
So now we have our what we ended up weighing in, which was 13.5 pounds, but really with 4 fish. So go ahead.
Right. Yeah. The one was what, pound and a half, maybe
14 inches.
Yeah, pound. I throw in. I'm like, there he is. Get him halfway to the boat. He jumps, thrashing around, spits the hook. Nothing I could do.
Right.
I switch baits, throw back in, jig, pop, whatever. Hook another one, reel him in. He dives under the boat, pulls the hook.
Straightens the hook.
I look at my hooks. It was a treble hook bait, wide open. This is what I thought.
So-
what, 15 minutes?
With like 15 minutes left. Oh,
15
all of the
15
So we
minutes
can-
of fishing time left.
yeah.
So and this is something that when I heard about this, I wanted to actually talk about that. And we may talk about what kind of bait
It's
you were throwing.
it's an expensive bait.
So for everybody watching, what kind of bait was it? Like it's nothing unusual.
The brand or style?
This style.
Jerk bait.
It was a jerk bait, right?
Jerk bait.
So and you bent the hooks out of it. So we were discussing this in our group chat. Because
Yes.
it brings up a very good point.
Yeah.
So
We talked about this.
You
a
should
little
never-
earlier when we got here.
What'd you say?
We said we talked about this a little earlier when
Yeah,
you
yeah,
got
yeah,
here.
yeah. Yep.
if you bend the hooks out on any treble hook bait, you're fighting the fish incorrectly, or your drag's not set right. Too heavy a line, you got too heavy a line, so you're trying to horse it in, whatever it might be. I mean, on that same bait that you're talking about, I caught a 38-inch striper on that bait with
Oh,
stock
yeah.
hooks.
Oh yeah.
Fights a whole lot harder than a smallmouth.
Oh yeah. I've caught very large stripers.
Right. Same thing. Like,
In
yeah.
the river. I think
I think when we bass fish, we get like
I think it was
when I know
current.
I do
think
still
there's
think
a lot
their
of
hooks
pressure.
suck. Their hooks do suck.
They do.
In my opinion.
They do.
They're very
I think
sticky.
their hooks suck.
They're very
But if you-
They're
sticky.
sticky, but they're brittle.
And the funny thing is, I was like, man, these hooks are sticky
All day.
Like man, these hooks are sticky. I kept sticking myself,
so
hooking my bibs.
what I so like you said you think it was a current. I think like
Current,
you and I
current, and me pulling against it, and him.
you and I both caught stripers on the same bait.
Oh yeah.
Big stripers, But
You had a valid point.
I feel like when we're catching stripers on them, we know they're stripers.
And you
Right.
So we go extra easy on
Right.
them. Like, okay, I know I'm fishing 10-pound line and very light wire hooks, and I have a 25-pound fish on the other end.
Right.
And I think
You're gonna play it.
I think we tend, especially in tournaments, we tend to horse those fish a little too much.
Yes.
Oh, the first one I caught,
the-
I don't know how we got it.
Well, I don't think anybody's
So,
ever
the
prepared
way
for a
they-
5
the way they
pounder or
all-
something to grab your bait.
The way
too.
they all the fish in this area did not eat it good at all.
No,
His second
no.
one, as soon as he got in the net, hook popped out.
So
The first
you're,
one
you're getting like one
was
hook.
was skin hooked.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's reeling the first one in from
Or
the back of the
swiping at
boat,
it.
skiing it across the surface, and I'm like,
Which it's
if it
when they're
crashes,
eating, and then when they're eating it like that, like in my opinion, like you probably should take your time a little more.
yeah.
And I'm guilty of this too, because if I get a fish on, like it's coming in a boat. Like
Right.
it doesn't matter if it's on
Gotta-
jerk bait,
gotta get this
jerk
thing in
bait,
the boat.
crankbait, jig,
Well,
punch rig, whatever.
If it's a jig or a punch rig or
Pencil
or
shark.
any
Pencil
soft
shark.
plastic, it's coming in a boat, but or even an A rig, any single hook bait, but like jerk bait, crankbait.
You gotta play them out.
Either eat
Right,
it,
you
they
gotta
either
play
eat
it
it.
out.
Well,
Play 'em
they either
out.
eat it good or they don't eat it.
But even those ones that don't eat it, like I feel like we oftentimes, especially in tournament situations, like I've noticed that like I am when nets are involved, I am way harder on the
Yeah.
the fish.
The other thing
would
of it
agree.
too
Yeah,
is
trying
like
to get it
I've never.
Where if I'm like
I don't think there's anything in that situation. I mean, I could have clicked my reel and let him
Yeah.
peel off a little bit of line, but like
that's the one thing that I will say that
What
like
about looser drag?
with jerk baits, I'm very very key on my drag. Like my drag is always set on jerkbaits.
Even crankbaits, it's key.
My thing with it,
I crankbaits, I just crank them in.
I don't know, man. Like with fishing
I'll
a
use- I'll
jerkbait,
I really don't throw a crankbait.
Crankbaits, I'll use a
Something
sunbar.
I have
biggest
done.
fish I've ever caught on a jerkbait was 7 pounds. Like I've caught little ones, I've
that
caught
hard.
big ones. Like I've never feel like you get a good hook in a fish on a jerkbait ever.
Oh, I-
never feel like. I mean, you may get a good hook in them, but you don't ever feel like it. Like you always catch them, you're like,
definitely had
oh,
fish
go there he
swallow
is.
it.
I was
Like,
gonna say,
And then you have
Right.
3 hooks down
When they-
inside of a bass.
when they
you're
come-
like, fuck.
Yeah.
When you're fighting and that largemouth comes up and shakes its head and you can't see your jerkbait, like you're like,
Yeah, but we're also talking about smallmouth with a what 5-6 inch.
yeah, smallmouth for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Like I totally agree with you. Like it's hard to get, which is why like I'm very adamant about throwing 3 hook jerkbaits for smallmouth.
Oh, it was 3 hooks.
Right. No, I'm just
Right.
saying. You know, congruent point. You know, you almost have to throw a 3 hook jerkbait with smallmouth.
yeah, for sure.
Well, I'm definitely changing my hooks.
I'm definitely never
I'll
buying
tell you
that bait.
exactly what hooks to get if you can find them because
Get
they're
the
out of
guts.
stock everywhere.
I was giving
Or
I
the
felt
high-
bad.
or
I
the
was
high
giving
uses.
Miles so much shit. I was like, I'm never buying one of them freaking things. I'm not doing it. Like I'm never doing it. I own
You
one.
texted into the group chat was like, I'll never buy one of these things.
It sucks.
But you can do that with any. It doesn't. It's not just mega bass. Like any jerkbait, jerkbaits in general have super light wire hooks because they're that way to be weighted, not the KVDs.
I would say not the X wraps either.
Oh yeah, well it's more of a
X-Wraps
slash
are-
bait.
Yeah.
So
Those things are awesome. That was what I caught that
Yeah.
7-pounder on in Moomaw.
X-Wrap?
Oh god, yeah.
That's
But
my
like-
bread and butter.
most of your high quality jerkbaits are going to have light wire hooks because they're balanced so much that like they're made they need that light wire hook to get that suspending that true suspend.
Right.
You know, if you put a heavier wire hook on it, it's going to sink.
Yeah, I was looking at hooks right after the Derby, and I was looking at the 110 and the 110 plus 1. They have 2 different size hooks.
Jason asked
That's
a good question.
question.
So I will, besides bass, bar none steelhead, without a doubt,
Definitely not snakeheads.
just because it's Jason.
Yeah.
I mean,
Um,
that's a good question.
Steelhead for sure.
Crappie or rockfish, bro?
Crappie fishing's fun.
Yellow
I
perch.
do like crappie.
Yellow
I do
perch.
like rockfish.
Me and Jason do a lot of yellow perch fishing together, actually.
I do love fishing for rockfish, but like if I had a choice, like whether I'm going to fish for rockfish or go up to Erie or New York to fish for steelhead, I'm going steelhead fishing, 100%. It doesn't matter if it's springtime and there's 50-inch stripers in the river. I'm still going steelhead fishing.
Have you guys ever caught any of those freshwater drum like out in the Midwest,
Yes.
like Kentucky Lake and shit?
I caught one on Cayuga.
I caught one in
I need chili samplers.
I'm good. I just ate.
Okay, get over it.
I literally ate 3/4 of a pizza before I got here.
There's not even a full scoop of chili in each of these bowls. I just need to know if it tastes okay. There's a chili competition tomorrow.
Is it venison chili?
Yeah.
I'm hungry again.
Well, I did a little different this time, so I have to know.
It's hot.
I have some Carolina Reaper hot sauce if you'd like to try some. I don't have it with me, but seriously, it's delicious. It's so good.
So yeah, like between
I like it.
Pretty good.
you know, like I said, I love fishing for stripers, but
Chili is chili.
I had chili for lunch.
yeah, if I had my choice, I'm going steelhead fishing. God, I love steelhead. Oh, freshwater drum. That's what I was gonna say.
I hate
we call
drum. The freshwater drum. I don't like that.
You probably caught them in like Conroe and shit.
no in St. Lawrence. We call them up in St. Lawrence.
Oh yeah, I forgot that up there. Actually, okay, I'm gonna change my answer. Pike, northern pike.
They're not that.
When I was fishing up in Black Lake like 2 years ago, we got on a northern pike bite on frogs.
It's pretty decent.
That's
That's
awesome.
cool.
Yeah, it's got.
Oh
it's got a
yeah,
little
I mean
bit
you
of
can
kick to
like
it.
anything
It's good,
topwater
yeah.
is always fun, but pike are like pike are
I've never caught a pike.
no. The only place I've ever really caught them is Deep Creek.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more common. It's kind of
Colder
common
water. Yeah.
there and Triadelphia. Triadelphia, there's a ton of pike.
Really?
They're all real small.
I caught
I think they stock them.
Okay. Well,
I caught one in I caught one relatively big one on Deep Creek on a Senko of all things.
I've only ever caught.
I mean it was probably solid like 35 inches.
I've only ever caught one, but
It was like
musky.
this.
You see Tom Over's pike on
Yeah.
Upper
Yeah,
Bay?
Yeah.
it's pretty tight.
Wait, he caught a pike on the upper bay.
He didn't.
No,
catch
he had
it.
a video of it.
Swimming, like on the flats.
A pike.
Yeah.
Damn, that's pretty
in
cool.
like this much water.
That's
They're
awesome.
there.
Dude, it was like
They're
what,
there. I
30,
mean, that's
30,
rare, but
35
they're-
Yeah, it was probably
inches.
30 inch. Yeah, it was decent size.
I don't know, man. Muskie, if you get on one of those, it's
Now
freaking
that is
fun.
freaking. Now I gotta get
Jason, snakes, cows, and steelheads.
I
saw
saw
that
that my boy Darwin Hayward on here. Darwin Hayward just is a freaking muskie chasing machine.
I just
Dude.
saw.
That's a whole nother way of fishing, though.
I just
Like-
saw that cow you posted on Facebook here today or yesterday. There, Jason. That was a big bitch.
I remember when I caught that thing up in Cadorus. Like, I was throwing my little finesse swim bait rig, and that thing was like, oh my god,
What a pike,
a muskie.
muskie.
Yeah, a big one.
Blue Marsh?
No, up at
There's
Cadorus.
muskie. There's muskie in Conowingo.
Yes, there
Oh
are.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've seen a few caught actually.
But like the giants
No, it was
farther up north.
No, there's
yeah.
there's big ones in Conowingo.
Not like giant though.
There's giant.
40 incher.
40,
There's
50 inch. I mean, how many?
Nate-
There's not that
so,
many.
so Nate and I were fishing. We were fishing the mouth of Muddy Creek.
Muddy
whatever it
Creek.
is. And
it's
guy,
lit. That one. It's
guy
lit.
called him
That
oh,
muskie.
no.
That
Yeah.
muskie has lived there
Yeah,
for
it was
years.
a muskie, not a pike. It was a muskie. It was
So
What's
that
up?
that
Here's-
muskie has lived in
Here's
there for
Darwin.
years.
Darwin, I was just
Probably.
telling him about
So-
how you're a muskie chasing machine.
A friend of mine caught the. We're 90% sure it was the same fish, like 2 years apart, and in between that, another guy I know caught it off the same tree, in Muddy Creek.
really.
Yeah, same exact tree.
Where,
Caught 3 times.
What area have you been going to, Darwin? And Darwin's had some wars, man, with some muskies and some really cold weather, and
Yeah.
just had a lot of time out there, man.
Dude.
Brian mentioned catching some pickerel in Joppatown back in the day.
Yeah.
I actually
I
caught
used to catch
I
them
caught
crappie.
one 2
I
years ago.
actually caught quite a few this year.
Yeah.
Did you really?
I used to catch them in the quarry.
I
I
caught.
caught 4 or 5 this year.
Crappie fishing.
The quarry used to be
Yeah,
loaded with
loaded,
pickerel.
yeah.
Loaded with pickerel.
I can tell you right
Like
now.
10 years ago.
If you
Yeah.
want to catch
No,
a
I was-
like a big
Yeah.
big muskie, Cadorus. There are big ones in there.
Yeah, there are big muskie and cadors.
The one I caught was like 40 pounds, and people were like, "That's a nice one," but
Lake Cadorus.
yeah,
What about Redmond?
never fished it.
That's a striper. A striper lake.
Yeah.
Is it really?
I bet you
yeah.
there's some big ass striper.
Oh yeah.
Are they hybrids or are they?
They're landlocks.
Yeah, you want to go
Same
to
with Piney Run. Piney Run has big
Piney
ones.
Run's got some giants in it. So
Yeah.
Liberty.
I agree.
Yeah,
I would
they're
really
pretty
like
good.
to actually
Liberty.
see a big ass muskie like that.
Jason, I was just getting ready to say that Raystown's
yeah.
got some. I mean, the PA state record came out of Raystown. It was
Muskie?
like, no, striper. Like
Striper.
I think it was like 62 pounds or something.
Woo!
Huge, giant.
That's a giant. That's a giant.
You're going to see them on live scope. That's for sure.
That's one thing I'm gonna
It
do.
looks like
this
a
year.
freaking whale coming across your screen.
I'm
So,
gonna,
dude,
I'm
it's
gonna live
so-
scope.
dude,
I'm
it's
gonna
so
live
much
Is
fun.
that
scope
is that
cows.
boulder moving?
I'm gonna live scope cows.
Dude,
The lower
they take up
Susquehanna.
half your screen.
Oh, yeah,
It's
I believe
insane.
it.
Yeah.
I know Jason's gonna come with me.
You're talking about big stripers.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna
50,
live
50,
scope. You're
40
gonna
to
live
50
scope
pounders.
cows, and then DNR is gonna live scope your guts. Depending on what time of year it is.
Catch and release season.
Oh, you're talking
Dude,
about
I'm
in the
pretty sure
spring?
they got rid of that.
Oh, Darwin, I would love to do
So,
that.
I'm pretty sure that even like catch and release, like if they,
you can't take them out of the water.
yeah, but even if DNR thinks that you are
Well, it depends.
targeting
You can-
those
you
big
can target-
cows,
you can
they
target
can
them.
find
So there's
you.
a
No, you
no.
can
It's
target
a,
them
sure.
but they
before
have a-
April 1st.
yeah, they
You
have
can
a catch
target
and release season on
Yeah.
the cows.
I
And then
thought
it
they
goes
got
to-
rid of it.
No.
No, you just can't take them out of the water.
Yeah, you have to
Just
release them in the
unhook
water.
them.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking my 50-pound rockfish out of the water and getting a photo with it.
I don't need. I mean, I don't need a photo.
If you've never caught one before, you're going to.
I've never caught them that big. I used to catch them like 30 inches.
Get a picture of the side
In
of
the
the boat.
summertime.
I mean, it's just. That's a big. That's a big striper.
Let me see it. Yeah, that's a fat one. Was that up at the dam?
No, this is downriver.
Wes says megabass is the only jerkbait to throw, especially in cold water. I would disagree with that. I have a couple of other jerkbaits that I throw that certain situations outproduce,
Nice one.
It is definitely a good cold water.
especially in cold water.
That's awesome. I don't know, dude. The stunner to me is like the one size fits all. Like that thing is awesome.
So there is a, and it will not be mentioned, but there is. I prefer a slow sinking jerkbait in the wintertime, like when it's real cold, versus a suspending jerkbait. And
What's up, Joe?
I have one that's real good, and I have hammered them on the Upper Bay in the wintertime.
Jerkbait.
Yeah. Hammered them in the Northeast on it.
I don't know, dude.
If
Big
I'm
ones.
fishing the Northeast, I'm fishing docks.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just me.
Eh.
I like flipping a jig.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's hard to get bit on that jig when the water temperature is 37 degrees.
Miles, what's your yellow perch story?
That's when you just throw a rattle trap.
I went overboard on Jason's boat.
Oh.
Oh,
36-degree water.
oh
Yeah,
snap!
that is cold.
He pulled me out right at Perryville.
How was that ride back?
It's cold. It was cold.
Probably cold to the point where you just can't even feel it. Honestly,
I literally took off all my clothes, was in my boxers, ran off the pier, got driven to my car, which is like at another boat ramp.
Wait, you
drove
fell
home.
off the boat and then got up on a pier and left.
Yeah. Well, he pulled me back on the boat. We were pulling into the pier. The wind. So I'm getting ready to step off.
you're pulling into the pier.
I'm getting ready to step off, and like it was blowing, and it kicked like the ass end of the boat, and it knocked the nose off, and I'm like mid step, and I had like I had nowhere to go. It's like a 4-foot gap at that point. I'm mid step, so I just like plop in and like kind of like hold on to the boat, and did you ever duck hunt? No, I haven't. I've never duck hunted. So he pulls me.
I miss Dan.
He pulls me back on.
That upsets
and,
me.
Yeah.
I went home and then came back and fished. So
That's.
it was scary.
It
It was scary.
we had a.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Dude,
We had-
I'm in my full
hypothermia
like
sets in fast, dude.
Carhartt bibs, which are already heavy enough.
So the water wasn't as cold, but we had a club tournament a few years ago. Guy in my club went in, but the air temperature when we launched was 23 degrees. Water temperature was like 48, and so he went in. Like we launched out of Tidings, he went in the Northeast, and he did the same thing. Like he got back in his boat, ran back to Tidings, loaded up his boat, drove home. Changed his clothes, got warmed up, and was back on the water.
That's exactly what I did. I drove home, took a hot shower, changed my clothes, came back, fished till dark.
Yeah. Not me. I would have just ate him.
Yeah. I was like, yeah,
After that, yeah, I don't like being
Maybe-
cold.
maybe
I don't
some
like
soup.
being cold, so
maybe some soup.
I'd be eating some chili. Speaking of,
Yeah.
Okay, I got a question.
I've been in the water before like that. It's not fun.
Should we spin the Wheel of Fortune?
four.
The Wheel of Fortune.
You haven't seen our wheel hit.
I did see
have
it.
you? Did you see it?
Not here. I was watching.
Yeah, isn't that kind of cool? It is.
Go
cool.
for it.
Say it's cool.
Go for it.
We should spin it and then give one fun fact about whatever it lands on.
That's pretty tasty.
Yeah.
It's got like just the right amount of spice.
It'll give you just a little sweat.
Yeah, it gives
But
you like
it's
a little
not
tingle.
bad.
It's just like a little tingle.
Yeah.
See, I'm at the point now where it's like everything I eat is so spicy. I want it to be painful, which is like not good.
Yeah, I did that until I tried that wing challenge that one time, and then bad things happen. You know, when the wings are so hot that it burns when you pee. Yeah.
It normally burns my bunghole.
Yeah, normally, yeah. Crankbaits. I just got some new crankbaits.
So we already know where we're gonna start with this one.
Yeah.
The UMA
We're just
is-
gonna dive right in it because UMA is the best crankbait on the
So-
market.
I just got some new custom painted UMA crankbaits that Tower made up for me that I think is now going to be one of his production colors. That I feel kind of like I like nerd out about
And it's
this
pretty sick.
because I got to name the color.
It's such a sick color too.
Absolutely.
So
It has not been released
Man of
yet.
culture.
has not been released yet.
It has not been released, so.
But I
you guys
think
will
he's
get to
gonna-
see it at a later date.
I think he is going to make it as one of his regular colors. It is a pretty sick color. We call it Pale Rider.
It'll sail.
Oh,
It'll
cool!
sail.
Like the movie. Great movie.
Yes, that's exactly
Great
where
movie.
it came from. But it's a
Because
you have that
Gesundheit.
You have that picture that I?
Well, while you're pulling up the picture, my honorable
that picture?
mention.
Can I send it?
My phone is up there.
Can I send it to the Facebook?
My honorable mention for crankbaits is the rock crawler.
We're gonna post it.
Yeah, we can post it.
Dude, the rock crawler, if you're around
When I find
smallmouth,
it.
you better have it tied on. That's all I can tell you.
So, let's see if I can find this.
Did you catch any on that?
And on Saturday, when we fished, I caught one. We
It
got
is
rid
a-
of it. Remember?
Oh yeah, yep.
I've had really good days on it though. Really good days.
So we landed on crankbaits on our spinner of death. We're gonna assume that the bunghole of the bass is over here on crankbaits instead of in the middle of the line. So we landed on crankbaits, and the best crankbait on the market. And I swear to you, I don't say this just because Tyler, takes care of us on the show and all that stuff. No, his crankbaits are freaking legit. They have great deflection rates. They're balsa wood. Part of the deflection has a lot to do with the buoyancy of his baits. Sticky hooks. I absolutely love them. Especially right now. I'm throwing those skinny shads at all times right now. That's what I have tied. I have 2 tied on right now. So if you don't have any of those, go over to umalurco.com. Promo code BNBR 2023 for 20% off.
Check the messages.
For 20% off your order.
Yeah, those things are legit. I definitely, and like the thing of it is like they're made custom. Like it's such a fine-tuned process at this point. I will say though, damn, that rock crawler is a good crankbait.
I don't know why it didn't come up.
Like I love me a rock crawler, especially around smallmouth. Like my 1-2 punch is a UMA and then a rock crawler, for sure.
Yeah,
That's
definitely. I definitely sent it to Bass and Beer.
I don't know where the message thing is on here.
It usually pops up at the bottom.
Yeah. Bubs, don't chew a hat.
Get him out of here because he's gonna chew on something.
I hate throwing crankbaits.
Really?
What?
I hate it.
Is it?
I hate
Is it because you don't have confidence in it, or
100%.
So-
I don't throw it.
How do you not?
I do not throw it. That's probably the last thing. I keep them tied on in my
You keep
rod
doing that.
in my rod locker.
You keep doing that. I'm all right with that.
It's just the last thing I pick up.
Yeah, it's the first
I
thing.
know a
pick
lot of
up.
people
It's
like
the
that,
first
though.
thing I pick up.
I can't.
I used to
don't
be like that.
throwing moving baits.
I used to be like that. I used to do the same shit because I didn't like my hookup ratio with crankbaits was never that great until I learned, hey, there's this thing called a drag. And then all the problems were solved because I was throwing it on the wrong rod. It was when I was very new to fishing, bass fishing at least. So I don't know. But now, like, it's a staple. Like, if I'm not fishing grass, I'm always throwing a crankbait. It's if I pull up on a spot, the crankbait's making at least 5-6 casts before I go to something else.
I'll throw it. I just don't get bit on it. Never get bit on it.
I've
If
had
I
some
do,
stellar.
they're not big fish. I caught one good fish on Conemago this year. It was like
Hail
3.5
Rider.
pounds on a DT8. That was
Yeah,
it.
some of my biggest smallmouth ever have come on crankbaits. And then one of my biggest largemouth ever at a Joppatown, 5.5 pounds, was on a crankbait.
my biggest largemouth in Joppatown was on crankbait. I caught it this year. 6.12
Oh yeah, I saw the picture.
on a UMA crankbait.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get some of those.
Yeah, man. Like
Yeah.
the crankbait is just a staple. Like you gotta. You gotta throw them. You have to throw them. They work. They just flat work. I mean, they're great
You ever throw
baits.
those flat-sided?
Yeah, it's situational.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of them.
I heard it's like a springtime thing. I don't know. Anything.
Fall.
I look at it in the
spring.
fall. Water's got to be under
Cold
50.
water.
Cooler water. Yeah.
Water under 50, 55.
I mean, you
I
can
have
catch them on a
one.
flat. I mean, you can catch them on a flat side all year long.
I have one. I
I
bought
have
it.
one crankbait.
No, I have one flat-sided that I bought to like fish Lock Raven when I used to rent the boats. Never caught anything on it. Never threw it again.
Pubs.
It's
Don't make
see,
this any more difficult.
I wish I could take my boat on the Lock Raven because one of my favorite things to do is deep crank. And
Oh yeah, everyone throws those big normals.
Here's Paul's
I love-
UMA Pale Rider.
yeah, it's a pretty cool color.
I like it.
It is a
It's definitely a shad representative.
100%.
White belly, a little bit of orange up there near the lip. I really don't worry about the color of the back as much as I do.
Makes a difference.
You think it does?
Yeah.
I like to. I really focus on the
It's-
underbelly
it's
more
the
than I do the backs of stuff.
Especially on your
The flash.
On the
on your flat
deflection.
on your flat bit, on your flat side, because your flat side's got, it doesn't have this kind of wobble. It's got
Side to side.
more side to side wobble. So that back is kicking over every time, and I think the back color is very important.
So yeah, that's UMA Lure Co. Promo code BNBR2023 for 20% off your order all the way through November. So make sure you get in on that before that deal ends. And then a huge shout out to our other sponsors. Let me see if I can get this correct because hang on, there we go. Take this away, put this away. I gotta hit 1,000,000 buttons here.
What happened to the one
Oh.
button?
Yep,
We used to be able to do this
here
with
it
one
is.
button.
And you take this button, and then I hit this button, and then I hit this button again. Yay! And now we have
Tailored
tailored
lures.
lures.
Snakehead fish and frogs. That's your answer. If you like the snakehead fish with frogs, that's your guy, Warren Taylor. Hit him up.
Literally.
The best
Specializes
part
in it.
about those frogs is how long they last with that snakehead punishment.
Those hooks are beefy as hell in those things. They're like
Yes.
saltwater hooks in them.
Oh yeah,
They don't bend out.
big heavy hooks.
Big heavy hooks. They make a difference when you're trying to snakehead fish and penetrate the mouths of those things. So shout out to Warren for taking care of us and getting us some of those frogs. Let's see, and then we have Mr. Larry Payne with Bass Munitions, custom soft plastics, worms, the Holstein drop shot worm. He's got paddle tails.
I was gonna ask if they make paddle tails.
He's
Yeah.
got paddle tails.
3-inch.
Yes.
Yep.
The value, like I say it all every time, the value that you get with Bass Munitions is second to none. Like you just get so much more for your money with their everything that they make. Like you get a pack of the Holston ST worms, you're getting like I think it's like 20 to a pack for like $5. I mean, it's awesome.
It's good.
So definitely.
And tell me that
Paddle
Holstein
tails.
worms a player up on the wing.
Paddle
pad.
tails.
Oh yeah, their paddle tails are awesome, and the colors that they make are spectacular.
I just stocked up on some
Lot of
kite.
colors.
I just
Do
stocked
they-
up on
do
some
they
kite.
sell
today.
them in bulk?
While I was at West Marine,
They
buying
will.
Yeah,
If you
100%.
talk to Larry
By a
and you
wire.
want some in bulk, he will sell you some in bulk.
I hate buying. You know,
Bless you.
I really wish that there was some place local other than West Marine that you can get marine grade wire, because it's so stupidly expensive there.
Can you get it on Amazon?
You can, but I needed it immediately.
Oh yeah, that sucks.
I
Like-
just run regular wire.
See, I always run tinned wire, you know, because I don't want my shit to corrode.
Right.
So West Marine's like really the only place that you can get it,
Right.
That's why it's expensive.
and
They
it's
know, they know
stupid
that.
expensive.
So that's what you did with your live scope?
Yeah, I just rewired it today.
I wonder if you can get it from Intercoastal.
I had it wired into a fuse box,
Right.
and I rewired it direct to the battery.
That's what I do. I keep so I bought a little lithium. It's like a 30 amp. It's like 6 pounds. Keep it up front now. I was running it back to my cranking battery. The worst interference I've
Really?
ever seen.
I run mine in my
I
cranking
know
battery.
I know both of you guys.
I
do.
don't
I don't have any
understand
issues.
how people can even do that.
Do what?
Well, I've heard of people that are like running they're running their sonar off their trolling motor batteries.
Oh,
you
that's
will
stupid.
you will get
Yeah.
loads of
You
interference.
probably
you
won't even
can't
be able
do
to
crap
see
like
anything.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
anytime you
But-
touch
but
the
even,
button, it's
even
gonna
the
work.
cranking battery, like I don't know if it was the distance that was traveled, and I was running 8 gauge
So-
wire.
If
So
you're on
you-
8 gauge wire, you shouldn't have an issue. I run 10.
Yeah, but
I was running all my
units.
you drop amps the longer your wire
Yeah,
is. It's like
I stayed at 13 amps all day with you.
yeah.
Before I would get down to like 11.9.
Volts. That's
11.7.
volts, not amps.
Yeah, volts. That's what I'm talking about. But the screen was a lot better fishing with you than weeks.
I don't
prior,
know. I mean, like
running off the cranking battery.
I run whatever's C Clear. It's not the name brand C Clear, but I told when I got my poles put on, I told the boathouse or whatever, I was like, look, put whatever you guys have marine wire that's not C Clear, that's equivalent, install that.
Yeah,
And
it's
I
just-
run it
so
straight
it's
on
a-
my cranking battery, and I've never had an
So
issue.
the wire that I use that I get from West Marine is literally the same exact wire that they use in the C-Clear wiring harnesses. It's just it's a 10 gauge dual strand.
Right.
It's ran together. It's the same stuff. It's made by Ancor, and I mean it's good. I mean I've never had any. I run all my units off my cranking battery.
Yeah. But you
I
have a
also have
31 AGM.
I also have
pretty sure.
a giant cranking battery.
I run a AGM Group 31 Blue Optima.
So I
Is
run
there a difference in the wire that you can use?
so you can use like standard copper wire.
I'm pretry sure I'm
that's
using a
what I
piece of
use.
thermostat wire for mine.
So different gauge
I
wire.
use single strand. Just
If
generic
you use
Home Depot.
If you so the only issue with that, and it'll work. It works fine. It's not that.
I'm only running this far now,
Well, yeah.
so I run 10 gauge.
So tinned wire just lasts longer
Yeah.
because
You got the
of
lithium battery
because
up
it
front.
Yeah.
it resists corrosion.
Right.
So that's the only reason to run tinned wire.
Right.
Yeah, it just resists corrosion. So I mean, if you don't have an issue with like that area getting
yeah.
damp, then you probably never have an issue. But I keep I store my boat outside, so
Yeah.
you get condensation in your lockers and stuff. So I run. Why not just I'll pay the extra couple bucks and run the good wire and not have to worry about
And
it.
you run it all the way back.
It's ran all yeah. I mean I just
Maybe-
probably did. I mean it was probably a 14-foot run.
Yeah.
Plus probably a 14-foot run of 10 gauge, and then the 6 or the 6 foot of wire.
It's
that it
very
comes in.
common there. There's a lot of guys have all their batteries in the back.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
they want to maximize their storage for rods and.
If
a
I
lot of
could-
guys are running house
Run.
batteries now, though, with all the
A
electronics.
lot of guys
Like,
have gone to.
I
lithiums.
run everything. Well, not everything. I have one unit on my center console
Yeah.
that goes to my cranking battery. My lithium goes to my live scope, and then I have my 3.
Now, will being on the cranking battery mess with the?
Typically no. The only time that you generally get interference off the cranking battery is if you have like a bad ground.
yeah.
You have a bad ground on something. Sometimes if you get like a bad live well pump that's pulling like a lot of amps, it can interfere with it. Or your onboard charger. You can get interference from your trolling motor batteries because
Yeah.
it runs
Yeah.
together. But they also make a choke that you can put on
Yeah.
that. To-
Yeah.
The only thing I'll say if you're going to run everything off your cranking battery is if you're going to stay in one spot for like 6-7 hours in live scope the whole time, you can run it a little bit low. But if you
Not
make,
mine.
I mean, I've never done it either. I've heard of guys doing it, but like the one tournament and
I have to go.
believe it or not, in the quarry, I live scoped most of the day, and I literally never started the boat from like 6 in the morning to, I don't know, 1 o'clock. And
Engage 10
it
feet.
started
Are you
fine, but it was like
24
just a little bit slower.
You
So-
24 or 12 volt, Jason? 8 gauge.
8 gauge is what you got to run.
Depending on what you're.
Depending on the
I
distance.
think I'm running 6 in the John boat.
I run 6 on my trolling motor.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have 6 in the John boat because
I didn't
that.
touch my trolling motor stuff.
So-
just left everything the same.
One thing, so 12 volt also is going to
It's
pull
going
more
to be a
amps.
higher amperage. Yep.
Yeah, so you need that higher. You definitely need that higher gauge wire. So I run 3 units live scope, Hydra Wave, Mega 360, my 5-port Ethernet hub, my live wells, and my navigation lights off my cranking battery. Bilge pump. Because I mean,
Which hopefully we don't.
to
have
be
use.
fair, I'm running a $450 battery,
What kind of battery are you running?
X2 power.
Okay, I was gonna get that one. I ended up going with the Duracell. It was like $50 cheaper, but it's
had-
they're
No,
very
the
they're
Duracell's way
comparable.
cheaper. The Duracell's way cheaper.
Yeah, it actually, you know what, you're right. It was a little, but I mean, it's comparable. The
Not
X2
really.
is definitely better
The
for
X2
sure.
is
You can't
but
beat
that thing
the
is
ionic
freaking-
battery.
What's your
Jason.
cold cranking amps?
a lot.
Yeah, the
All
X2
of
is
them.
like it's like
I
a
think it's like
$500 battery.
1300.
Group 31.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
It's
have
a huge battery.
I think mine's
The
950.
it's like 100, like 120, 130 amp hour.
Was it like a
Yeah, they're
29
huge.
series battery?
31.
It's a 31
Yeah.
series. Yeah, it's a big
Yeah.
bitch.
It's a bit. It weighs 82 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta be running 30. If you're running
One battery weighs 82
if you're running
pounds.
anything forward facing, you gotta at least have a 31.
It is
And, like,
I will say it is a bitch to put in.
Oh yeah.
Like you're standing in the driveway and like like the gun of your boat's here and you got to pick like an 82-pound battery up like this to get it up on your boat. It sucks.
I just curled mine for a couple hours before I put it in.
Getting it out's even worse.
Yeah. But I mean, so like if you don't want to go to like the X2 is like the top of the line lead acid Group 31
So
battery.
Jason,
the
I run-
Duracell's nice though. Like,
So that's for my Jason. I'm talking about for my cranking battery. I can't because I do run an older motor. I can't run a lithium cranking battery. But I do run I run 100 amp hour ionic lithiums for my trolling motor.
yeah.
They're
I-
great.
I've
They are
had-
great batteries.
I have zero complaints.
I wouldn't honestly like. There's a lot of people that have the debate over what's the best lithium battery and price and all that shit. One thing I can say is the Ionic. They might be expensive and everything, but their customer service is top of the
Now,
line.
in terms of lithium batteries, they're
And their warranty is
very
like,
cheaper than most lithium batteries.
Ionic.
Like, oh yeah. I mean, you're talking about like Battleborn batteries are like $2,000 a pop.
No, yeah, I mean you're looking at $2,000. $2,000 you're looking at.
For what? $2,000 for what?
That's for a
48 volt
24.
battery.
That's
or
going to be a
something?
24 volt.
Mm-hmm.
So you're looking at about $1,000,
that's
$1,000 to $1,200 for a 12 volt 100 amp hour battery.
But that's just Battleborn though. Like, there's other
Why?
ones out there.
That's way too much.
Why?
Ionic is significantly cheaper than any other brand.
Well, you still
Of
have
I don't know why.
Dakota lithium. I mean, you have the Dakota batteries, the lithiums.
Yeah, they're freaking
I-
expensive. They're
I-
over $1,000 for a 12 volt 100 amp hour.
They're not. They're
Which one are you talking about,
They're
Dakota?
kind of to par with the Ionics, I believe.
Are you talking about Dakota lithiums?
Yeah.
They're over
Dakota
$1,000.
lithiums.
They're. I remember them being pricey. I think I'm going to take Paul's side on this. I thought they were a little bit. They were considerably more expensive.
Maybe I'm not remembering correctly because it's been a couple years since I bought them.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I don't know anyone that has Ionics that
I
doesn't
remember
like
them being maybe
Like-
a couple $100 more expensive.
Oh, no, Chad's right.
Oh, well, there you have
I
it.
must have been. I'm probably thinking of Lithium Pros.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Like, what's
Dakota
the-
Lithium,
but there's
12
a
volt,
difference-
100 amp hour, $7.99.
Yeah.
So $100
but
more.
there's a difference in the customer service and everything, in my opinion.
But what's the
Like,
difference between like what's
do
the
you run-
real difference between an Ionic and a Battleborn battery? That's $500 difference.
Yeah, but Duke. But I don't have to be functional.
I don't. I really don't.
I can
know.
just turn around and go back to bed. I don't have to.
Even my Ionics have an app on my phone where I can literally watch my amps go up
Yeah.
and down. I can watch my battery levels. I can see how many hours and how many charges my batteries have been
Yeah.
running. Like,
So the thing
I
of
can
it
watch
is,
my battery cycle on an app on the phone through Ionics.
so the thing with Ionic is
11-year warranty.
if I went with the 50 amp hours, I'd have enough room to run 36 volts. But I don't think the 50 amp hours is enough.
no, I know.
So with a 36 volt, probably
Really?
30 less amp draw on a 36 volt.
That's true.
So you could probably get away with it with the type of fishing that you do, but you may run into issues certain times. Like if you were fishing like the discharge all day or something like that,
Yeah.
you're gonna run into an issue there. I will say like my 24 volts, I have ran them down. Me and Greg Hall fished a tournament last year and on Conowingo, and the wind was blowing like almost 30 mile an hour.
I remember that
straight
day.
down the river.
I remember. Yeah, I remember.
So like, I mean, my trolling motor was on 10 all day. Didn't matter where I was, and we fished a discharge for much of that day,
warm water or
warm water, and I mean they were rolling current out of it, right? And so I checked my batteries when I got back, and I had them down to like 19%.
But there's no drop off
But
either.
there's
with
no
lithium.
drop off.
No, they
go-
just
they're
die.
100% until they're.
They're 100% until they die.
what do you run in the Ranger?
That's all lead acid in the Ranger. And I won't go to lithium either because I need the weight in the back.
Yeah. Yeah.
It makes a difference in performance when you go from lead acid to lithium.
Yeah.
So mine
You
did
will
not.
lose speed if you don't
So,
manage your weight differently.
Mine did not. It depends on your boat. There's a lot into it, but I lost 0 when I went to lithiums.
How fast does your boat run?
58 with me in it, half tank of gas.
About 2 people.
So
Fly
50,
wells,
53
loaded.
with full tank of gas, 2 people, live wells full last Saturday. It drags. It was. I need to get my 23 pitch prop work
So that's what
because I'm running a 24 right now.
So I just put on a 23, I think Raker.
yeah.
Probably, yeah.
I think it was Raker, and I had a 24 or 25 Trophy,
Yeah.
Trophy Plus. Way better. Come out of the hole in like 3 seconds.
Oh yeah.
Before it was like
That's probably too much for that.
it's probably like 8 seconds.
So
If I could get up, sometimes I couldn't get up.
I run
Turns
a-
out I had a
I've never
spun
had that
hub.
problem.
I had a spun hub.
I run a
Well, yes.
I run a 23 and a 24 Tempest. Usually depending on the season. Usually I run the 23 in the summertime, and I run the 24 all winter. But like Saturday, it was it's 80 some degrees outside, and I'm running down the Potomac. I mean, it was dragging ass. But I messed my 23 up at Conowingo
Yeah, me
Last
too.
year.
Yeah, Nate.
on the boat ramp.
Ah.
Would you have it?
Forgot how steep it was,
You
and didn't trim it up enough, and I heard it go whack whack whack, and it like ground down the ears all all the way around.
Yeah, I got 2 dog ears on my 4-blade.
I run a 27,
That is going to be the
You're also running a
challenge
200
tomorrow
horsepower
is
motor.
launching.
but it's a
putting the boat
smaller
out.
prop. It's a
Trim it
13,
up.
not a 14 and
Trim
a
it
half.
up. Trim it up.
But believe it or not,
Just loading the boat. Yeah, just trim it up.
Trim it up. Trim it up to where like
I'm not much. Yeah,
It'll be fine.
it's like even.
I'm not much faster than you guys. Like, if
be
anything, like by myself, loaded, no live wells. I never run my boat with less than half a tank, 60s, maybe 62.
I've hit 62 in my boat one
so
time.
We hit 56. That's what that was our top speed.
That's about
5
right.
wells.
That's pretty fast.
For the
half tank of
150,
gas.
that's shit.
For an
that's
18 and a half
good.
foot boat with a 150,
With a
that's
150 with
good.
2 people in it. Like,
I want to hit 60. I think I can by myself without live wells full.
yeah, I mean,
And a
that's
quarter
pretty
tank of
good,
gas.
You just gotta take all your gear out of the front.
I really don't have that much
Like,
gear in my
Take
boat.
everything you can out of the front of the boat.
Yeah, that's
Like,
have-
literally
that's a
take
huge
everything
I
out.
have two rods in my rod locker, like 8 on the deck,
Yeah, but you
my
want
lithium battery, and then my tackle in the middle. I don't have that much.
So when I say
don't
take
bring
it,
a
it
lot.
doesn't. A little bit of weight in the front makes a giant difference on bow lift.
I
So if
probably,
you take like all your rod, if you like took all your rods out
I have
and
no
took your
more
tackle
than
out,
50 pounds.
so the 50 pounds on the front of the boat is a lot.
Right. It's like what, double or triple than what would be in the back.
Probably triple.
I'm gonna
Close to
take
triple.
all my.
Yeah,
I'm gonna take
depending on where it's
everything
at.
out of my boat one day and run it. And
Even
just see how
more
fast
if it's
it
like
goes.
like
I mean,
on,
my bow lift. I mean, Tony saw it. My bow lift's like
Your bow lift's way higher than mine.
phenomenal.
that's because you have a Ranger. They're not
Comes
known for
right
high
up
bow lift.
and right down.
So, yeah, I mean, if you want to get like the top speed out of it, just take as much weight out of the front as you can and just go run it.
Speaking of fast boats, there's a.
But it doesn't really matter. I
There's
mean, I
a-
can.
Yeah, there's a bullet
56,
for
57
sale in Hanover that I'm eyeing up because the price is right.
Oh yeah,
It's
what
an
year?
older bullet. It's like a 90. No,
Isn't that what we were looking at?
It's got a 3.5 race motor on it.
no, it's a 225 VFI.
Ah.
But it's the price is right, and the guy's like, boat needs work. Like, boat looks fine. It's just old. Like, it looks like shit, but because it's old.
Well, that's like mine.
Well,
Mine needs a good like wet sand. Like,
Yeah, so does mine.
It needs.
I'm tempted to buy it, but like, it
Why
doesn't.
don't you just fix yours if you're going to buy another project?
Because projects are fun.
So you have a project.
My boat's not a project. My boat, I can go fish tournaments out of it, no problem.
Yeah, but
this
you
this
can-
bullet, you cannot fish a tournament.
But
out
you
of
can
it.
make it. You could make it a lot better.
Put a new
Yeah, but like
Put
with
a-
what?
put a old
Put a
tracks-
new
With the
show.
Ultrex.
Old
New
Put a
carpet.
new show and add a graph to it.
New carpet,
You need some
all tracks,
graphs.
And get an Ultrex.
good
I
wet,
need some graph.
good
need
wet
some
sand,
It
and
does
polish.
need a
Huh?
wet sand.
You need some graphs.
I need live scope.
No, it's not the brown one. It's like
You
a
need
blue one.
360.
I'm gonna hold on. I'm
I
gonna
want
find
I
it.
want a 10 up front.
I do
360.
want to get 360. Just for
360.
Conowingo.
360 is way
A lot
more
of people-
useful for what we do.
A lot of people don't like it up on Conowingo.
I love it. I fucking love it.
I want to use it.
I love
You
it.
have perspective mode.
I use 360 more than I use any other piece of equipment on my boat. I use it more than spot lock. I would trade my power poles, my spot lock trolling
come
motor,
on.
my live scope,
Spot
all
lock?
of that for 360.
I would not.
I know Herb's selling his 360.
Yeah.
Here you go, Paul.
So what year we got?
2002.
What was that boat that we were looking at?
The stroker.
Oh,
The
that was a
stroker. Those things are wicked fast.
Yes. He was like, yeah, I touch 80.
No, he touches. He goes. Yeah.
90.
Oh,
Something
that
like-
that was
yeah.
the gambler.
Sitting outside.
Yes,
That was the
yes,
gambler.
yeah, the old one.
He's been sitting outside. It's not terrible. I mean,
That's what I'm saying. It's not that bad.
it's not terrible. I mean, it definitely needs some wet sanding. I don't know if you can get any of that sparkle back. Some of it looks pretty deep.
I would just wrap it before just matte black wrap it.
It's like $3,000 to do that.
But the thing of it is, it has nothing on it. Like it's got
See,
an
look,
old
Duke-
trolling motor.
Duke, perfect. You know, my thoughts exactly, Duke. You know, Duke says he'd probably stop fishing if he couldn't use 360.
Really?
360 is the #1 tool on my boat.
How much does that run compared to a live scope?
It's
What a live scope-
1500.
Same as live scope.
Well, not really. It's a little cheaper.
In my opinion,
I bought my
you need
live
to have
scope
a
for $1,000.
for like live scope and like.
I mean, if you
360.
compare apples to apples, like
Yeah.
brand new to brand new,
Similar.
it's like my live scope was what 1800.
Yeah.
How many
like
people
30,
are live
34.
scoping off?
Yeah, 34,
9-inch,
yeah.
9-inch screens. and
You
What's
can,
that?
You can get 32 for like 15.
Would you say?
How many people are using live scope off 9-inch screens and small?
Kevin's got a 9.
I got a 9.
Yeah, it's not terrible.
It's not bad.
No.
With any electronics, it doesn't matter if you're looking at live
I feel
scope
like doing
size.
10 to 12 would just make the application.
So-
so much slower.
I think before I move up in screen, I'm going to go to the 34
So
transducer.
my
Just
my
a
one
better
piece of
transducer,
advice,
more
Chad.
Powerful.
When you're talking about screen size, no matter what you're using it for, it doesn't matter if it's live scope, 360, side scan, mapping, down scan, get the biggest screen you can afford.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Just get the biggest screen you can afford. Like whatever your budget is, like
Look.
if I'm say I'm getting 360 and I have $3,000 to spend on a unit to go with my 360. So
Spend it.
getting a 15-inch unit.
True.
So what's the thumb rating on the bullet?
$3,000 for a 15-inch unit and 360.
No, 3,000 just for the unit. It's like
Go,
Oh,
go,
God.
go on
It's like
Hennessy,
3,000.
Hennessy
It's-
Outdoors. Hennessy Outdoors.
It's like
I
20
showed Tony this. They have a boneyard.
a
Yeah,
12, a
that's
12-inch
huge.
a 12-inch Helix is like a side imaging is like $2,800.
So Hennessy
expensive.
Outdoors.
It's expensive as hell.
Hennessy Outdoors. They rig boats, so they pull the old shit off, put on new shit, rig it up. They sell the old stuff, discounted.
Yeah, they
Good,
do that.
good, good condition.
You can
get
get
some
good
nice
condition
stuff.
used stuff from
You
them.
can get Ultrax. You can get poles. you
Russell
can
Marine does the same thing.
get jack blades, any graph you want. Live scope.
You can get a lot of
You can
used.
get a, you can get a
lot of used
32
stuff.
transducer for like $300 or $400.
Don't get it.
It's dirt cheap.
Just get a 34.
Yeah.
It's coming this winter.
The only thing I really don't like about this bullet is the storage layout sucks.
Yes, they do. There's no storage in bullets, so
Yeah, so how the hell am I supposed to carry my shit? So this is a fast
You're-
boat
you're
that
not
you fish
supposed to.
off of.
Strap
Right.
it down to the back.
yeah, I agree, Duke. So like, if it's the difference between getting one or getting two,
It's a 90 mile.
you know, I
an hour
would
boat.
say, you know, if you can get two 10s versus 115, you know, if I'm putting them at like my console, I would probably rather have two 10s than 115. But if I could afford it, I would have two 15s. Like
215s.
I'd put two 15s.
What are you gonna watch porn on one and fish on the other one?
No,
No,
but you,
I like to be able to
you
see
can
things.
if you want to.
I know that's true. You can.
So and then
that's cool.
and then up front, like if I'm, you know, depending on what I'm doing up front, like if I have a dedicated unit
there's
for
none.
360, a dedicated unit for a live scope, I'm going to get the biggest screens that I can
like
fit.
Yeah.
I would.
Why
If I
wouldn't you?
didn't have if I did like put it this way, if I didn't
That's
have
a
all the
lot more
toys,
weight up in
You'd
the
have
front
to
of your
pull
boat.
all
though.
your stuff off.
That's a lot of
well,
weight.
right. If I didn't have all the toys on my Ranger, I'd probably buy that boat.
No, your boat's in good shape.
Just
I would probably-
run the piss out of it.
Your trailer needs to be reworked, and your boat needs a little bit of work.
Trailer's fine. What's wrong with the trailer?
My trailer needs some work.
I got
Okay,
I got
your
I got
trailer-
a weld a patch on
Your
my
trailer's
line.
just an eyesore. You just need to like.
Because it's
Brakes
single
don't
axle.
work.
No, you just
Brakes
need to
won't work.
fix the wheels on it,
Oh, yeah?
make them nice and shiny again.
Oh.
and stuff.
Fabrication.
Well, you know why the wheels are all greasy? Because I blew out both bearings.
Okay,
That's
so
what I'm saying. So you gotta,
Yeah.
I have
you
a
gotta
neighbor
clean that
that's-
up. That's all.
I have a neighbor that's going to do that for me.
Fix the stomp pads on.
He's
it.
going to fix it like correctly rather than patching it.
I'm just gonna grind mine out and just weld a new piece on.
Yeah, he's actually going to cut the cross member completely out and weld a whole new cross member into it.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah,
This patch
for a few $100, so it's worth it.
Yeah. No, I'm
Actually,
I'm just gonna grind
Hold
it
on,
out.
that's if I don't sell it because
Yeah, I thought you should sell it. What are you gonna buy if you
boats
do
for sale. I'm buying a Falcon. I am almost 100% certain I'm getting a Falcon.
21.
20.
Hit up Brian Latimer and buy one from him.
I want to buy
He's the man.
if my boat was already sold, I
I
would be
want to hit him up and have him on the show.
so.
That'd be sweet.
If my boat was sold, I would be on my way to Florida to buy JT Kenny's Falcon, his 21-foot Predator that he has for sale with 61 hours for $68,000 right now.
Shoo. Yeah, that's a good deal.
That's a
Brand new.
crazy good deal.
Is it loaded out with all the screens too?
It's got I think it's got two 16-inch Lowrance units on it.
Yeah.
This mirror.
The only thing that annoys me is it's got a Lowrance Ghost on it. But I mean, like,
You have
I'll just sell it.
Ultrax
Are you
on
talking
your
about that
boat,
legend that you sent?
Yeah, but it'd be I'd have to put a 36 on it. It's a 21-foot giant heavy boat.
Are you talking about that legend? The legend that you
No.
sent earlier? Oh.
No, JT Kenny's Falcon's for sale.
Oh.
It's a 2022 with 61 hours for 68,000.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice.
Duke, I'll see you in the morning.
Thanks for following, Jason.
I don't know, dude. That bullet would be fun if I got it for like a little bit less money. It would just be fun to have. Like,
They're fun as long as the wind's not blowing.
Dude, I mean, I
Oh,
feel
yeah.
like you have a bass boat that you can be competitive out of. I don't know, like toys. You guys want to hear something fun that I'm thinking about buying here?
another dirt bike? Please say another
No,
dirt
it's
bike.
not
Damn
another
it.
dirt bike. Have you guys ever
A diesel
heard of,
truck
Is
that
it
we
a
can
UTV?
build?
No.
Damn it.
But have you guys ever heard of those KEI import mini trucks?
Yes.
Like
No,
the little,
no,
ones that
no.
go
Like
around-
I love
the
them.
little white
Yeah.
ones.
yeah,
the
the
little
little
single-
white, the
The
little
little
white
single
mini trucks.
little single
that
box
have-
cab.
My
Yeah,
buddy's
like
got
What
one.
are you
single-
talking about?
a
right
utility
now?
bed?
Pull it
My
up.
buddy
Pull it
has
up.
Okay, all right.
It's just it's a little mini box truck,
buddy
like,
has
or
one.
like box cab
Oh,
with a utility
looks
bed.
like a golf cart, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind
Yeah,
of.
it's like a pickup.
I have seen those.
It's a
What are we
mini
gonna do with
pickup truck.
this,
They use them at like airports.
dude? My uncle will
Yes.
tow his boat with that
Okay.
thing.
So,
My-
dude,
It would
My
be
buddy
better than
has
what
one.
he.
My buddy
Yeah.
has one.
No, I've actually seen these. Okay, if
It
you
would be
get
better than the
if you
Focus.
get this, we have to tow my uncle's boat with this thing. What are you gonna do with that though?
Okay, so hold up here.
Drive it around the golf course?
Listen to me.
What kind of motor are we looking at?
They have 3-cylinder.
Diesel?
No.
Some have diesels in them.
If it's got a diesel, you could tow a little
Is
boat
it a
with
Dude,
three-cylinder?
they have like some of them have like 1,200 to 1,500 pound tow capacities with the little
What?
3-cylinder. Yeah,
Is it an Isuzu three-cylinder?
it's not. I
can't
they
remember.
might be
International.
Isuzu 3-cylinders, but there's many different types. Like, so you have like Daihatsu and oh my god, they're just
look like you're
they're
about to
weird
invade
names. You
Israel
have
with that thing.
Suzuki. That's what I'm. Yeah, basically. But dude, they come with 4-wheel drive.
Bro.
It was-
two-wheel-
I love the body kit.
Are you kidding me? It's
How
got it
cool are
lowered.
these things?
How much are they? Oh, that now we're talking.
Okay, so here's the best part. This is what you're gonna love, Tony. So you can buy one in decent condition with like 40,000 miles on it for like $6,000,
Oh, that's not bad.
and then a 2-inch lift kit and tires and wheels.
But you
to
can
put
get it
on
street legal, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're street legal.
Oh
My
shit.
buddy
Heating
bought
and air
one for
conditioning.
$3,000.
2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive,
Not like that.
six foot bed. in the
Does he
back.
drive it? Like, what's he do with it, Miles? Does he like drive?
He just bought it for toy.
Can we fit a 4BT in it?
He drives.
Oh, dude,
Oh my God.
dude, come on.
He drives it throughout
Exactly.
Bel Air.
That's awesome. If we put a 4BT in that thing, oh my god, that would be fucking awesome.
I have a friend that has a 57 Chevy pickup with a 4BT in it.
It probably will smoke anything.
It
It runs
runs-
probably ridiculously fast.
It runs high nines.
Oh, I guarantee it. Does it have a bottle hooked up or no?
I think he's running meth and compound turbos.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
All it is a mini 12 valve. I mean,
He travels to all those
today.
like truck diesel drag racing events.
I like
all
the
over the
look.
place.
You get the nice rack on them. Wheels, tires, do a little lift kit. They have 3-cylinder motors in them, 5-speed transmissions, air conditioning.
Dude, you know what that would be great for? Like
That's that little creek.
if you wanted to go to like the mountains in Pennsylvania, like trout fishing. Like
Yeah.
you just load yourself in the back, like driving on the little dirt
Yeah.
roads and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking for like around here. It's like okay, like I have my like chickens. I kind of want to get some other animals in the future.
You can make a little run to Tractor Supply.
Just make runs to Tractor Supply, make runs to the store. It's a cool talking piece. You know how many people are going to stop me everywhere
Oh,
I
yeah.
go and
So
just
must
talk
have been a
about
good
that.
Must have been a good day.
stuff back up.
So
Yeah, it is pretty cool. That'd be a cool little like fishing like you know, showing, going back to my trout fishing roots. But that would be like a cool little like fly fishing setup to just like just kind of like cruise around out in the mountains and stuff.
You can be about $10,000 into one of those and have a street legal vehicle that
It doesn't look anything like an AE86. What are you talking about?
have a street legal vehicle that
Don't
it's
be
not pulling your bass boat to the ramp, but
don't be bad mouthing AE86s here,
running
sir.
errands to Walmart. It has the tow capacity to pull my John boat to the boat ramp.
Yeah, that'd be
That's
cool.
badass.
Or like, some of those like it'd be cool if you lived around like down in the Carolinas, like where Austin, like those little electric lakes, like where you take that like little pond prowlers and
Yeah.
stuff. They
It's
pull
just-
your little pond prowler around it.
So I'm highly considering buying one of those. Those things are pretty cool. Something talking about projects and like fun toys. Something that I can use to freaking around the yard. I can throw a bunch of. They come with like you get dump beds on them.
John's son's an Evo fanboy. I'll also have respect for him.
Oh,
Not that I hate on Evos,
I
but
like the STIs.
I mean,
You like STIs?
Evos are
STIs, not
you like STIs?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool. They all come with a good story.
Yeah, that is true. I do not like STIs. I hate the sound of that boxer motor.
Oh, we're talking
It
about cars
annoys me.
again?
It depends.
That sound annoys me.
We'll go down the rabbit hole really quickly here.
We could. We start talking about imports. I
have
will
to start
freak out.
another podcast on just talking about random shit. And we'll probably double our audience in about 2 weeks compared to this crap because we're talking about stupid shit. People love hearing about
Yeah,
dumb crap.
that's definitely true, John. Definitely got a little more top end in the old Evo. My friend Ollie has a sick Evo. One of my friends
I
from
don't
high
even know
school.
what that is.
Mitsubishi Lancer Evo.
I don't know shit about cars.
I don't care unless it's got diesel and it has a big old C on it. Although
A turbo.
I'm getting a 6.4, I don't care. It's gonna happen.
Are you gonna buy a
Why?
bullet or are you gonna buy a new truck?
Both.
All right.
His Evo's got a bigger turbo on it than your diesel.
Not a 6.4. 6.4 comes stock with a compound turbo. It's part of the reason why they blew up because the top end couldn't handle it.
The turbo
Studying it is not going
pretty-
to fix
pretty
that problem. I'm
big.
just letting you know.
No. You don't.
When I say
honestly,
pretty big, I mean very, very, very large.
Those.
No,
The
no.
third.
the back river bait.
The turd.
Don't
You know
put
what I
that
wanna
on
do?
camera.
You know what I want to do? Honestly,
Nobody throws those.
when I buy a 6.4,
We've all bought them for like
I don't know
novelty.
what it is.
I'm gonna buy a clean
Is it a
one.
net?
I'm gonna buy a clean one blown
I throw
up.
the shit out of them.
Is it a net?
I love them.
Is it a net?
No,
No.
it's like it's like the Yamatanuki.
Weedless.
It's that high density plastic.
So, do you remember those soft plastic spooks
Yes.
way back in the day?
Yep.
It was Yum.
Yum.
What were they
That's
called?
what it
Yeah.
reminds me- I don't
What
remember.
were those things
That's
called?
what
I
this
remember
reminds me
those.
of.
That takes.
Was it the
that takes a
Sluggo?
week-
Money
like a
Dog?
week
No,
or
Sluggo's
something.
like a BKD.
Oh.
Money Dog or something like that.
I remember those. Yeah.
Yeah, I have Money something.
It didn't work.
The money minnow is
Money Minnow's the swim bait.
Yeah, I throw it on the A rig sometimes.
Yeah, I've tried. I wanted them to work so badly
I
because
never bought them.
so somebody
I mean, the idea behind it, I love.
so somebody just came out with this at ICAST this past year a hollow body spook. I can't remember who made it, but it's like
Was it Berkeley?
no, it was like Snag Proof or like one of those frog companies, but it's like it's like built like a hollow belly frog, but it's in the shape of a spook.
Is it a frog hook set bait?
Yeah,
Oh no shit.
Does it
Oh,
have
yeah.
it's got
I
frog.
saw- I saw-
trebles on
I
it,
saw
or
it,
is
I
it
saw it.
weedless?
It's weedless. It's got
It's
frog
weedless,
hooks on it.
yeah.
Mega Bass has that. It's
Do they?
JDM, but they've had that. And it sucks, by the way. I have one, and it doesn't. As soon as you want to throw a walking bait, as soon as that walking bait touches a piece of grass, I don't care if it's weedless or not. It's not walking anymore.
That's true.
That's true.
It's
But it
and
will
and
walk
you
in.
know what?
half
I
the
love
time-
the concept.
But it will
of when I
walk in the
bought it.
holes in the grass. That's
It
that's
will walk in the
that's
holes
the-
in the
that's
grass,
the key.
but so will your frog.
true.
Yeah.
But your frog also doesn't really have that minnow shape. Either. Different profile. You know,
Yeah,
you're getting a
yeah,
much.
I like
It is a
throwing a horny
different
toad.
profile.
I like throwing a horny toad.
It is a different profile. However, I will say I just felt like I was walking it in the holes when I used this specific bait from Mega Bass, But it was worthless when I was on the grass. It made like no commotion. It was like pulling a stick over top of the grass. You know, it just, I was like, never threw it again. It's just sitting in the box. I'll show it to you later.
Interesting.
You ever throw a Neko rig?
Yeah.
We don't
I like
talk about
the-
those here.
I like the Texaco rig myself.
Tony's gonna punch you right in your face.
For what? I don't throw a Nico rig. Actually, that's not true. I do, but I don't fish it like most people do. I like the they call it the tiny child rig, but I call it the Texaco rig. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Really? It's
Split shot
Not the
rig?
chicken rig.
it might be the same thing. It's when you basically
Donkey rig?
you Texas
No,
rig.
the chicken rig is a Texas rig. It's a Texas rigged worm, like backwards and.
Oh yeah, I flipped those.
It's like some Micah can.
Is that the
have
one where you
special.
put the nail weight in it? Because that's what I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
No,
Yeah, that's
That's a
No,
Nico.
the nail weight that
No,
has the,
no.
the ring on it. that you
So,
keep the hook
right.
through?
That's when you wacky.
The
that's when you
Texaco-
wacky hook it and then put a weight in the end of one side.
that's
That's a
not
Nico.
that's not a true Nico.
That's a Nico.
Well, a Nico it's rigged a little
Different,
differently.
yeah.
It's rigged parallel with the bait rather than perpendicular.
I just
like
do
a
that
Viper
because
rig
it gets in the grass more and it's better.
I thought that you rigged it wacky and then you put a weight on one end of the wacky.
is. So
I do that
you
in the
can
grass.
do that, but it's a lot more efficient and weedless if you rig it. So instead of the hook, like if your bait's like this, instead of your hook going across the bait like this,
right,
you rig your hook up and down.
but you're not going to get the same action out of it.
You don't get the same action anyway because the nail weight makes it fall nose down.
Or you just use the Berkeley Fusion
So
hooks and
it-
you don't have to worry about
So
it.
you're not going to get that wacky action,
That's
that
what I
wobble
use for
from the
trout
wacky.
fly.
Anytime you put a nail weight in it, it's gonna
Right.
destroy that wacky
But
action.
your point of pulling is going to be different on the bait.
Right.
No, it's the same because
So-
you're rigging in the same spot.
So the Texaco rig, right?
I kind of picture what you mean in my head now. Like,
So the Texaco rig, you take your 5-inch Senko.
Yeah, you're just like you would a wacky rig. With you use a band, so you just hook it in the band, so it's the hooks going with the bait instead of against the bait.
I have no.
And all that and what it really does is just keeps
service in my house sucks balls.
it keeps it
Gotta be on the
I
Wi-Fi.
wanted to show you this punching rig.
keeps it a little more
Here, why
weedless.
don't we just do this?
So while you're looking that up, the Texaco rig, what you do is you take a Senko and the end that's tapered, you just bite off enough to where it's flat, right? You Texas rig it from that side so that the larger flat end is at the back.
Yeah.
And once you Texas rig it, you put a nail weight in the ass of it.
Okay.
And when it falls straight down, and it kind of has almost falls like a tube, like it does that little corkscrew, but it falls really really slow.
It'll fall. It'll glide backwards.
It
too.
will. It will
What is
glide
it?
away from the boat.
So
The weights at the. So let's say you have a crawl.
Mhm.
The pincher.
Oh,
on
yeah,
top, and you
yeah.
hook, you
Yeah, I know
insert
exactly
the
what you're
hook and then you hook it backwards, but
Yeah.
screw it over top.
I call that
I've seen
the
that.
I call that the Pete rig.
There's a name for it. There's like a company that like invented it.
Yeah, I know
I
exactly what
just
you're
make
talking
my
about.
own now. I don't know what it's called.
I mostly keep it simple. I mean, I don't throw a lot of those like crazy.
Yeah,
baits.
me
like I
It,
throw
it just comes
You
through the
ever
grass better
guys
because
ever
it's
done
not
the
nose.
Tokyo
It's not
rig?
nose down.
Tokyo rig. Yeah, I
This
throw
Tokyo rig's the one that has the weight on the.
Yeah, I throw
Control.
those frequently.
Yeah.
I've caught fish on them. They work.
I've never thrown one. I mean, I know they work, but I've never thrown it.
It's essentially like it's like a different look drop shot. I have seen some really cool ideas fishing swim baits with Tokyo rigs though. Fishing paddle tails in the
I put a
wintertime.
paddle tail.
And you can keep bottom contact better.
Oh yeah, Groundster. We caught a bunch yesterday.
I
Oh, did you go out yesterday?
Probably like 20 or 30.
Where'd you go?
I told you about
Drop down.
swim.
Yeah, we went out in Joppa Town.
Drop shot.
Phoebe caught
Yes.
the biggest one.
Nice.
Yeah. On a crankbait.
It's that time of year.
Go figure.
It is that
That's
time
my
of
least
year.
favorite.
It is that time. Guess what? Guess what we had tied on there?
UMA crankbaits.
UMA. UMA crankbait. Me, I was throwing one. Steve had an OSP tied on. And he was doing well too. So, yeah,
Are
honestly,
you
you
fishing
can't go
tomorrow?
wrong with either
I
one
got
of
drill
those
this weekend.
choices.
I feel
won't
like
fish
I
till
haven't been
Monday.
fishing in forever, and I literally fished all weekend.
I know the river rats.
It's just one of those things.
If it wasn't for that, I'd be
I
fishing.
had a tournament on Saturday, a tournament on Sunday, and I feel like I haven't fished forever because it gets dark and I can't fish after work now.
Yeah, that is
Makes me
depressing.
really angry.
I haven't fished after work since the last Thursday nighter.
We're getting into those depressing days now, everybody.
Yeah, I live
It's
in
time for
I live in
depression.
Baltimore, so I have to drive
You live in Baltimore?
40 minutes up here. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
you live in Fells Point, right?
Canton.
Canton. Close enough.
I keep the boat at my parents' house, so
Right.
right by the water.
Yeah. Well, we're getting to that point. I gotta
Yep.
be up in like 6 hours.
Yeah, me too.
Where are you
so.
going?
I got drill this weekend.
Drill. Yep.
I have to go launch a tournament, then I'm going to Conowingo. What time are you getting up there?
I'm gonna text Steve after this, but I'm thinking 7ish.
I'll probably be. It'd probably be
6:30,
like
7ish.
8.
Is somebody
Probably, yeah.
taking Rob up
Is there
there?
a tournament there tomorrow or no?
No.
Not that I know of.
Somebody should take Rob up there.
They're the big bait. They're the big bait.
I got the glide on.
They're-
You think I should go to a different color? No. I got bone. I got yellow perch.
They're a bone.
That's what I got that on. I planned on throwing it tomorrow.
Yeah. Let me know how you do. I got bit on it.
Mm-hmm.
I got smoked on it, and I missed him.
Dude,
I knew it was a good fish.
one of the-
I assume it was a good fish.
Here's one of the coolest stories, like, from me fishing Conowingo that I've ever had, and I can't. This was 2 seasons ago.
Jason, that'd be cool. We'd love to have you. We'd love to have you come out. You
Um,
can fish with Miles.
Oh yeah, no, he texted me actually this morning.
Hell
saying
yeah,
he
that'd be
wants to
cool.
fish,
That'd be
so
cool as shit. Definitely come out.
He's gonna target the snakes while.
Miles got
Snakes will
angry.
put some money in the boat too.
Miles got
So the
angry and
only-
stopped fishing last year.
No, I fished all of them until I couldn't make it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had to drive 40 minutes to get my boat, then 20 minutes back to Jobtown, then drop my boat off.
You could have dropped your boat here.
You can always leave your boat here and then get it for Thursday. That's an
So,
option.
sometimes I would bring it to work.
I'm
I work
10
in,
minutes-
I work
I'm
in
10
Rosedale.
minutes on the
I
river.
work in Rosedale, so I would keep it. I would keep it in our gated yard.
Right.
But it's a lot. It's a lot during the week. So like the tournaments.
Miles, have you
start
caught
at
any
6?
dinosaurs lately?
No.
I don't know what a dinosaur is.
He doesn't understand what you just said.
I'll pick his boat up.
But so, dude, like fishing on Conowingo, I think it was like 2 years ago, and this is when I first went up there and was like, kind of really explore. This is 2 years ago was when I really started throwing glide baits. Was when I was really like, I want to throw a glide bait. I want to learn how to catch fish on a glide bait. I have to throw a glide bait. Tony was there because it was the day with Tony. It was an unforgettable day with Tony. We started out just hammering smallmouth, and I picked up my glide and I threw it out.
Is this when you casted it onto the bank?
Just, I wish it would have landed on the bank.
Oh.
It was 10 feet from the bank, but right in the current, just enough to sweep it away.
What time of year was it?
Is it early fall?
Yeah, early, probably about right now, something like that.
No, it was in like September, like late September.
Threw it up in there.
The day you
Was
caught your,
bringing it back, caught one. Tony couldn't believe it because I was throwing this big glide bait. It was, but it wasn't even a big glide bait. It was like a 6-inch glide. It wasn't huge.
That's waiver.
So caught one, whatever. Ended up throwing it out again and broke it off, and just flew out into the water, and I was like, oh no. There goes $80. So, and speaking of which, by the way, now I look back at it, that really isn't all that bad now.
no, it could be a lot worse.
Could be a lot worse. So I tied another one on and kept on throwing. Caught several after that, and I remember, and there was 2 specific days in a row because it was so good that I went back the next day too. But there was 2 days in a row that I went back, and Gromster was there the second day with me, Adam Grom. Went back, and we were throwing glides, S-Waver 168s, and I was throwing a Depths 145.
Yeah.
And I remember Adam had an S-Waver 168 in the party color. It's just like does all those weird flashy rainbow colors in it. And he kind of let it sink down in the area that we were, and he like gave it a couple twitches and would bring it back. And then all of a sudden there was like 5, like 2-3 pound smallmouth just following.
They follow it like a wolf pack.
Like they were just
I've
wolf
had 'em do
packing
that.
this
One
thing
thing
right
about-
back to the boat.
I've had
and
them do
it
that
was
to jerk
like,
baits up there before.
yeah,
jerk baits and glide bait on live scope. you will see how many fish follow it.
We had
Dude,
Each cast.
It's insane.
We had one
And that's why they say they use them as search baits, because you can throw these things out there. You can figure out where they might not eat it, but you can draw them out.
Yes.
And all right, I know you're here now. So now I can go back and
We
now
had-
I can throw the jig there. I can throw the jerk bait over top of it.
We had
whatever.
one summer. The water was real clean up there, and it was. I mean, it was like middle of summer, and we were throwing jerk baits over. I think it was probably like 23, 24 feet of water, and just giants were just coming up out of like 20 feet of water and just staring at your jerk bait.
Yeah.
Yeah, you pop it a couple times, they come
Dude,
right up on
yeah.
it.
And they
Pop it a
would
couple
just,
times, and they keep coming. Yep.
It was literally just a straight hour. Now
Giants, dude.
we were hooking them every once in a while too, and bringing them in. But dude, we were casting and then slowly bringing it back and just wolf packing 5, 6 nice smallmouth at a time, just nosing this thing and watching it all the way back. And it was one of the coolest things to watch because the water was crystal clear. So like, you would just see them come from like deep up to shallow. They'd hit that 5 feet of visibility mark, and they would just like appear out of nowhere like a ghost
They do the same
and just
thing.
like be on your bait.
Yeah.
It's amazing how good they capture.
On a drop shot in like 30 foot, as soon as it hits the water,
You see 'em streak up.
Shoot up. Shoot up like 20 feet.
yeah, it's pretty crazy what you can see on live scope.
Yeah.
Makes me excited.
Yeah. So the day before Tony and I fished, I went out that Saturday, and I was throwing a glide bait and drew out a bunch of fish. We ran there. We already had 5. We ran there. The fish weren't there like they were. He caught a small one, didn't help out. But I would have never known there was anything there if they didn't
Right.
come up and follow that.
I think that the coolest live scope bite that I've had so far was a catfish. I was throwing
Really?
just a jig. I was throwing just the stupid fucking Demiki rig, and like I cast it out, and like I'd seen a fish like out past this rock, and like I'm working it back, and there's this like V in this rock, like, and I can see the V on live scope. And I'm going like this, and it's coming over that V, and I just see this giant fish just come up and just annihilate this. And I set the hook, and I'm like, yeah, that's not a pass.
Yeah.
It was super cool though.
That happened to me twice in the past like month. One was a 25-pound flathead. The other was like a 7-pound channel cat.
I called
Both on the A rig. Smoked it.
I called a 20, 21, 19, somewhere around 20-pound blue cat on a
Oh, yeah.
drop shot in Howard degrees
Upper bet, yeah.
on 8-pound line.
Yeah, we catch them perch fishing.
Took me like, I think it took me 18 minutes to get it in.
Yeah.
It was pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie. Actually, it was like fighting a log.
The coolest live scope bite I've ever gotten was a Demiki rig on the south end of Conowingo, where you could like see them, and you would just drop your bait in it, and the fish would like there would be like 5-10 fish. They would get up on it to the point where you couldn't even see the bait anymore, because they would just sit right on it, and then you would just feel the slightest tick, and it was just like you see on TV. You didn't even set the hook; it was just like straight up with the rod, and then just reel. And it was cool. It was a lot of fun.
I've caught
If
some
I'm-
small
ever
bass
set
and
the hook.
crappie in like 4 feet of water with live scope before with John Hansen on his boat on the active imaging. That was kind of cool.
Dude, it's
to do.
almost time for
It was
that.
it was very it was shallow. It was very shallow when we were using it, watching
Yeah,
the
the-
fish move.
If you
You can use it shallow. It's just
use
Yeah.
it shallow,
Just not
you just have to take it down to like 40 feet out. So you're looking at like 40 feet out, and you can see just fine. In,
Looking
like,
back
3 or
at it
4 feet
now,
away.
it just showed us that fish was there.
Yeah.
You know.
No, it's cool. Live
So-
scope's a cool tool.
But with that being said, everybody, we're coming to the end of our podcast. It is almost 10 o'clock. We all got to get up early in the morning and do some fishing.
moving.
Oh, and he's going to do some moving, some boat moving.
Running a tournament.
Yeah, you're going to move that boat up to Conowingo.
I wish.
I'm gonna yell at people.
Not tomorrow. I'm off this weekend.
So, yeah, oh yeah. Tony's going to drill. He's going to scream at
He's
people.
off this weekend too.
But, all right, y'all. We will catch you guys on the next episode and talk to you guys throughout the week. Peace out. Thanks for joining us.